Welcome to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie. I am so excited about tonight. We're going to have a marvelous interview, but I just want to let you know that here on Inspirational Talks, we talk about triumphant moments. We talk about those times in our life when we have to overcome obstacles, and we promote peace while serving. So the guests that I bring on the show, they're happy to share with you their journeys, some of their ups, some of their downs, and their wins, because each and every day we have a day on this earth, we win. And so I want to give you a little bit about my guest before she comes in. So Miss Cherry has several business, and let me tell you all, this is an honor for me to be able to interview her on tonight, because I've been following some of the things that she's been doing on social media. And so we'll talk a little bit about that when she comes in. Okay, so she's been in healthcare for about 30 years. She's married to her husband. They own their own PRN home care, and it's for 23 years, over 23 years. That is amazing. And they also provide for the elderly, disabled, veterans in their homes and hospitals and nursing homes. She is the co-founder and director of Success Women's Conference. Over 1,000 attendees. You heard me right, 1,000 attendees. I can't wait to talk about the Success Women's Conference and everything she's doing. She also is the founder of Power Up Summit and the Level Up Your Visibility Virtual Summit. Now, I know that was a mouthful, so I'm going to bring her in so that she can tell you some more highlights about herself. Welcome, Miss Cherry. How are you?
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm so thrilled to be here. I am always excited to come on and share my journey and my story. I always tell people your story is not your story, it's somebody else's. It's for somebody else. So I'm always willing to share.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Now, I know that I said a lot in your bio. So just now, can you share a little bit about your career? Anything that I missed? Because the listeners are in for a treat just with the amount of wealth of knowledge and everything that you've achieved and accomplished, with, your companies and just you as a person. So can you share a little bit about yourself and your career?
Well, as said before, I've been in healthcare over 30 plus years. We started our home care business over 23 years ago, PRN home care. Okay. My background is actually from occupational therapy field. Started off, as I mentioned to you earlier, that, I came back home to Mississippi. Planning to pass through Mississippi.
Yeah.
And I've been back here since 1995. God always has a sense of humor. And to be honest, his plan is not always the plan we're thinking it should be. So I'm thankful that he brought me back to my hometown, and that I'm able to bring many things to the community. I've been planning and putting together conferences for over 15 plus years.
Wow.
I've actually done Blessed Girls Rock, and that was my first lady, CJ, who asked us to take over and share that, me and Lakeisha Cotton. And we averaged there over 450 women every year. And so, and we had, people like Vicki Winans, Vicki Yohe, I'm trying to think of Deborah over in New Orleans, but many other keynotes, even Sherwood came through.
Okay.
So that, and then before that, I had my other conference, Right Resource Information and Planning for the Elderly. And that conference is really more for caregivers, you know, more to educate and empower caregivers. Most people don't realize, you know, there are way more caregivers than ever before. Most are feeling overwhelmed, especially right now during the time that we're in.
Yes,
Resources are harder to find,
they
and it's a
are.
struggle. It really is. Those are conferences, and that conference averaged over 600 people every year
Wow.
at that conference. So, as I said, I've been doing it for a long time. They call me the butts in the seat queen because I'm always tweaking and making sure that we get people in attendance. And this year with uh,
Yes,
success, we plan to go bigger and better. We want to go international. We
yes.
have many speakers that are coming on board this year. Dr. George C. Frazier. If you don't
Okay,
know him, look him up. Forbes Riley, another person that
okay,
you should look up. Sharon Lecter, who is co-author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, the original
okay,
version of that.
okay. And
So
I've heard of that book.
yes. Very. That's it's a really good story there. You should read. But those and many other, of course, Dr. Sherwood and her twin powers, Cherie will be back.
Okay.
So we're probably going to wind up again, which was not my plan,
Wow.
with over a hundred speakers again
Wow.
at this conference. It will run October the 5th through the 11th, 7 days. That's right, 7 days.
Okay,
Uh,
7 days.
7 days. So, but anyway, I love pouring into people. I love empowering and inspiring people.
Right.
That is where I really live and connecting to people.
Right. And I can definitely I know that the people who've been listed to come to these conferences, all the ones that you spoke about, that, you know, the 400, the 1,000, the 600, you know, I know that they see the value in what you're doing. They can see the passion. We talked about people paying for what they want, or, you know, being in an area that they can learn more. And so the value that you're giving to those in Mississippi and those who are not in the state of Mississippi that are flying in and coming in, this is just amazing, and I'm exceedingly glad that I have the opportunity to, you know, to speak with someone who, as an entrepreneur, you've been doing this faithfully, and you're pouring your heart into it, and you see, you know, saying you can see your, you know, your due season. You can see all of the fruit of your labor, and you can be able to see the people that you're helping. And so I know that there are many things, because when we get down to the highlights, like, Lord, we're gonna have to put these uh, on a slideshow. But tell me, I know you kind of talked about it, you kind of alluded to it about, you know, what inspires you to do this. And I know you said you like poured into people and to helping them. And you talked a little bit about your faith to take the leap. You know, for the listeners that are out there who, you know, they want to do their first conference and they're worried about 20 people coming, you know, what inspires you to, you know, to do what you do, so that we can help them to tap into some of that inspirational momentum that you have going on.
Well, I always tell people the first thing you want to do is write down your vision and your mission. So
Okay.
when you come up with an event, you know, one of the things that I teach, I actually coach on creating your own profitable event, right? Because a
Okay.
lot of people have big parties. At the end of the day, that's all you only had a big party, right?
Yeah.
So you want to start off and make sure you know what your vision is and your mission,
Okay.
and then make sure that people want what you're thinking about bringing to the community, to the world. You know, if people don't want it, you know, you got to find something else. So make
Yeah.
sure that there's an interest there. The one thing
Hmm.
about success, when we did success, the first year we had over 540 people. And so
Wow.
the success of that had to do with many years. The women here on the Gulf Coast talked about, we need a conference. And so there were events There were
Mm-hmm.
networking meetings, there are women organization, all that exists before success, right?
Yes.
But the women did not feel like they were getting enough. They
Yeah.
felt like there was something missing. So at the end of the day, they were hungry. They just needed
Right.
something more than what is being delivered by, the standard things like the chambers and
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. They wanted something more. So that when
Yes.
we started the conference, we were actually, my partner and I, we were just sitting somewhere talking. It was one of my branding meetings that I was having with her. And she was like, Karen, what do you think? I'm like, she was like, why don't we just do it? And I was
Right.
like, okay, me, I'm like, at that time I was feet first, we'll figure it out later, right?
Right.
And
Okay.
so I'm like, okay, and not including the fact that I already had another conference going that was
Mm-hmm.
going to happen a few months prior to that. But anyway, but we knew that the passion in the women was there, that they
Yes.
really were looking for something. Now, did we think we were
Mm-hmm.
going to end up with 540 women? No,
Wow.
but we did. And so therefore, we were able to capitalize on that because we took
Yes.
our time. We made a plan. That was the first thing we did.
Mm-hmm.
You make a plan.
Okay.
These are some of the things I go over in my training. Make a
Okay.
plan. That's number one. Number two, build your team. Build your
Okay.
team. Don't stop trying to do all this stuff with one or two people. You need a team, right? And
Exactly.
there are people that should be on that team. And that's what I teach in my training. Number three,
Right. Mm-hmm.
create multiple streams of revenue. Create multiple
Okay.
stream of event revenue. Number four,
Yes.
selecting the right speakers. Y'all, you can't be
Yes.
bringing in your friends and family and thinking that you're going to get a great attendance, okay? There
Exactly.
is
Right. You're right.
there is strategy behind picking a speaker. There is a
Mm-hmm.
reason when you see people picking celebrities, they're picking them because they got butts behind them, right?
Right.
But they can't be your only person like
Yeah.
that. You got to think beyond that. And of course, you got to stay in your budget. And number
Yeah.
five, promote your event. And when I say promote your event, it's not just a flyer. That if you ever look at any of the stuff I do, you'll see a
Mm-hmm.
series of graphics and all this stuff that I'm doing to elevate
Yeah.
the conference that I'm doing. So do that. And like I said, I do coach on that, but definitely you want to make sure that you're not having a big party. That I'm just
Exactly.
going to go back to that. No big parties, y'all.
No parties out there. So Sarah just gave you all, this amazing blueprint of how to do, so your conferences and what inspires her. And so if you're looking, and she'll give her information at the end of this, if you're looking to be, the coach with her, then we'll make sure we give her that opportunity to talk about that. But that's awesome. So you plan, she said, number one, you got to build your team. No one out there trying to do it by themselves, okay? There's no I in team. And create multiple revenue streams for your event. Select the right speakers and then promote, constantly promote. So those are some great things for people out there because, right now, we're in a time where we have to do things differently. We have to do things virtually. And I know that took a lot of people, saying bye, just, a whim because we were used to doing, I know like with you with Success, you did it, on the coast and people came to it. And so now this year, you're having to switch it up and change it. But, you're good at making those pivot points and turning things. So, now I'm about to get into the list of, highlight of achievements. Now you have a long list and I'm so, kudos to you for everything that you have done. Can you tell me some of the highlights and achievement that you want that are special to your heart that you want to? Because I just want to say you have done an amazing job.
Yeah, well, one of my favorites is Essence magazine. I
Okay.
was first featured
Wow.
2001 as a comeback queen. And then back in 2005, which I often think back, I was telling somebody the other day, I never could figure out why the 2005 didn't have as much impact. Well, I forgot 2005 was Hurricane Katrina, and it literally came out the same time as Hurricane Katrina.
Right.
And that was a hardback, y'all. Essence don't print many hardbacks. So I was fortunate to be in their hardback called Make It Happen, which you'll hear that title come up again because guess what? That's my new book title. So so that being said, I love the experience. The first year when they came, that was when they were sending photographers to your business and all that stuff. So I loved Essence, and I just love the whole national, international experience of it. And then the one of the ones that I've gotten recently, top 50 business women in Mississippi. I had to go to Jackson for that. Love the experience Mississippi Journal did with that. I love that. That was amazing,
so awesome.
Amazing experience. But of course, the Governor's Award, the Governor Give Award. I'm gonna be honest, I almost passed out in my car. I just so happened to be in Jackson. I was visiting my daughter, and I got the call from the governor's office saying that I was one of the 12 or 15 people being recognized that year and given the governor's award. So I was in shock. She was like, "Well, I know you're in shock." I'm like, "How did she know that?" Because I'm literally in shock. And so that was amazing. And then, with success, this year we got recognized as one of the best in Mississippi overall business award. Kathy Amos and her team, awesome.
I know her in Jackson.
Yes,
I'm familiar with her. I think I did a vending event with her one time.
Woman of God. Awesome
woman.
Really,
I met her. I think she gave me one of her cards then. Miss Sherry, these are amazing, awards, and because you have put your time and your passion into helping and pouring into people, it's good to be, recognized for the things that you've done. And you're not looking at the list that I'm looking at, but I promise you, this lady we have on the show tonight she's doing amazing things. I mean, from 2001 to 2020, there are a lot of things. Enterprising Women, honorable mention, Goodwill Ambassador. I used to work for Goodwill when I lived in Georgia. Like the Gulf Coast Black Nurses, Rocks, like these are amazing things. And like the people in your community and all over the world, national and international, they see what you're doing and they like it because you're empowering people with your business to grow. So kudos to you for all of the amazing things that you have done and that are yet to come. Because, we live in this life and we're still doing things now. So I want to just take a turn and we talk about overcoming obstacles with planting positive seeds. We always want to help that person to plant positive seeds in their lives because we know that so many people go through things. I know that some people smile, but that smile is really, just a front for something else. But I want you, as accomplished as you are, could you share with some of my listeners maybe a time when you felt that you had to overcome, an obstacle in your life and in your business?
So I'm not a spring chicken. I'm 55. I'm gonna just say that. And I often told my mom, I said, if you'd have told me the body started breaking down at 40, I definitely would have been a little more mental prepared for it. I've actually gone through health challenge and I've been in business 23 years. You're gonna see the peaks and valleys, and some of them will make you, bend on your knees for sure.
Exactly. Neology. Pray into the Lord.
Yeah, I'm telling you, but I'm gonna say this off the top. Give your tithe and offering.
Amen.
Put God
bring it into
first.
the house.
put him first. If you put him first
Yes.
and you give your tithe and
Amen.
offering, and then the other thing I would say is listen to the voice. When you really want to know something, I'm gonna tell you, I've seen God literally move. He made sure I knew. Oh yeah,
Yes. Come
you
on,
want to know if
testify.
I'm real? Ask me a question. I made a mistake of doing that one time. I said, God, if I'm not supposed to be on this at this job, can you, let me know. Let me know.
Right.
Look, the next day, okay, the people
Wow.
at the job were like, yeah, we need to talk to you. And
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
what? And I got moved. I was upset. And then I thought about it. I'm like, really? Really?
Right.
And I had to go in peace to
Yes.
the other location, which I mean, you have to be ready to listen to God. But I
Exactly.
have had, and I'll use Hurricane Katrina as a starting point,
Mm-hmm.
business-wise. Of course, in Katrina, we lost, I'm in the business of taking care of seniors. That's what I do. And
Okay.
my goal ultimately is to keep them at home, or at least where they
Yes.
want to be. When you leave and come back and you see half of your people's stuff is gone,
Yeah.
and then, then we didn't even lose most of them to the water or the storm or anything like that. It was the fact that some of them woke up and realized they were never going to see their home again.
Yeah.
They were moved and all that. And people don't understand like we do that
Mm-hmm.
loss of a home is like a death to an
It
older
is.
person.
Yeah.
And so we lost half of our clients through that. And then, you come right behind that with 2016, the housing crisis. And then you
Yeah.
come another couple of years and you're dealing with people losing all of their savings and stuff in the financial crisis. And then you would
Yes.
say, well, ooh, that was a whole lot to deal with. Well, guess what?
Exactly.
Nothing brought me deeper to my knees until that BP oil spill hit.
Oh,
I tell
wow.
people this all the time. We started off as the best 2010, best year ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were seeing record numbers. And then the oil spill hit. And we were like, okay, it's the oil spill. It ain't got nothing to do with us. Well,
Right.
a few months later, I mean, can you imagine losing like half of your
I
business income overnight, and
I
then, or
can't.
more than half, and then
Right.
all kind of other things? It was like the devil had decided that we were the target, and
To
everything
test you.
that you think couldn't happen
Right.
did
It
happen.
did.
And so
Wow.
we lost all kind of incomes, even our rent, business office rental, everything. And so, but you know what?
Wow.
I look back at that year.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tough year. I mean, literally, you can literally say, "Oh, we're gonna make it," but
Yes.
but God,
But
but
God,
God,
and but
he
God,
made,
and I just
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I just wanted to say, because I shared that Katrina story with you, because actually during that time I lived on the Gulf Coast,
Mm-hmm.
and it was only me and my dog, and so I had just moved there and hadn't even put all my stuff up yet because I was fresh out of college. I moved into my first apartment and just was like, okay, I'm gonna get it done. And then Hurricane Katrina came, we had to evacuate. I was in the long line of people who were like waiting to the last minute, came back, and once I came back, I had like maybe 3 or 4 feet of water in my apartment. It was still, standing, and I was thanking the Lord. But that's when, the Lord really started working with me about my writing, because when I got there, my writings were still in a folder in my closet with water damage, but not all the way messed up. And so then I knew that He had saved those poems in order for me to start, putting them out into the atmosphere. But it took the travesty and the devastation of like what was going on for Hurricane Katrina. And even when I came back down there, like you said, you see people out of their homes, you see water damages. We have the sick, we have the elderly. And so, my heart was constantly, I love people and very compassionate. So I felt some kind of way coming back down there and not being able to do anything but help them get the debris out of their yard, or or just making sure we pray with them, for their family or for the ones that they did lose. And so, I just wanted to add that point because I shared, that Hurricane Katrina, and I didn't lose, a lot, but it was just God made sure that I knew how important life was and how important it was to do some of the things that were on my calendar to do it then, because time is not promised to any of us. But I really, always prayed for the people that, that were there in that area and helped out as much as I could.
I often say Katrina taught a lot of us to take the value off of property stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When you think you had a bad time during Katrina, and when you think that your time was worse, there's always somebody that's worse, that
Exactly.
suffered worse. We were on the tennis court when we heard about Katrina. Literally,
Wow.
my daughters were playing tennis, and
Mm-hmm.
there was this couple that we had met. They were from German descent, but they lived in Florida. They moved to the coast in Diamond Head to avoid all the hurricanes that kept hitting Florida.
Yes.
And they we all left that Saturday because Katrina hit on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like I said, we had been sleeping. We wasn't even paying attention. So we had to go home and start scrambling and trying to figure out what we were going to do. But
Yeah.
because I'm from Biloxi, I knew we had to leave. At least my mom made sure I knew we had to leave. But that being said, that couple didn't leave. And
Yeah.
they found their bodies, one in the house and one in the garage. So it
Mm-hmm.
made me realize
Mm-hmm.
life is short, and all the little treasures that we trinkets and we think are worth so much money and all this stuff,
Yeah.
it
Exactly.
means nothing because
No,
you
no,
can't
no
replace life.
materialistic. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Right.
it really teaches you value. I'm sure right now in California, people that are losing their stuff to the fires, and on the West Coast as a whole, they're learning
Yeah.
that, look, that's replaceable. Are
It
you
is.
living and breathing? You can
Exactly.
start over. Trust me, you can lose everything and feel like you on the verge of jumping. But if you step
Yeah.
back and say, God, show me,
Yes. Exactly.
he can take you from homeless to a millionaire. So
He
you just
can.
have to believe. You have to believe. Trust him. Your life is worth everything. Don't worry about
Yes.
that other stuff. Let it go. Let it go if
That's
you need to let
right.
it go. So that's
You
what I
all heard
tell
it
people.
best.
Yep.
Right. To trust God in all your ways, and he will direct your path. And that's something for you listeners out there. So if you're going through anything, she just shared, what I'm saying, life is what's most valuable, and the materialistic things, you can accumulate them, still in life, but let's make sure that you trust God and that you love your life and you live the best you can while you're here. And so I thank you so much for sharing that. I just want to ask, and I love to find out, since we do so much with our businesses and we're always doing our businesses, I wanted to ask, what are some fun things that you do outside of success and, being in all the magazines and, what do you do for fun, to relax or?
Well, one of the most fun things that I do that I started, I've been saying for years, I want to travel, I want to travel. And, we did live overseas in Germany for 5 years, and got to tour some places over there, but I still didn't do as much as I want. And Egypt
Mm-hmm.
is still on my list. But that being said, my children are now grown. And
Right.
so I let them plan it, but I'm like, where are we going this year? And look, I don't care if I got to get in y'all suitcase, but I want to be on that trip, right? And
Right.
it's not always easy because I actually have a disease called pulmonary hypertension that I
Okay.
was diagnosed with, and so my oxygen doesn't stay high, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
care. I mean,
Right.
when Corona hit and our president announced that if you're out of country, you need to get back home, we were in Spain and Greece.
Yeah.
Literally, we could see the Greece ruins out of the window, and we were
Wow.
so close to the ruins. Now we had already been to Spain, but
Uh-huh.
but we have already said we're going back. Greece is still on our
Okay,
list.
going back.
Yes, but I tell everybody, I don't care where
Mm-hmm.
you live, I don't care how much money you got, you make or you don't make. You need to get outside of your zip code. And
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the next state over, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Start traveling. The world that you see on TV, you need to go experience that yourself. There is
Exactly.
nothing like being outside of this country. Now
Yes.
there's nothing like the US. Don't get me wrong. I am always gonna be living in America. But when it comes to travel, I
Yeah.
say, people have plans where you can sign up, pay on payment plans, whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
right now they probably cheap right now too.
They are cheap.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
But traveling, I love traveling. And I do love doing it with my kids, and whatever my husband decides to go to, but I love it. That's
What
probably the
what
most fun.
Well, that's good because traveling is fun, and like you said, you with your kids and they're most older, so now you all having that time to bond. But
Hmm.
I take you up on that because I'm gonna tell you, when I won my first award for like in Paris back in 2014 with writing, I said to God then, I said the next time that I get an international award or something that I'm going to plan to go. And so that was 2014. So I started planning for the next trip, and then it came. I probably was nominated again in 2016, and then the last of 2018, I was nominated, and I was on the finalists. I was one of the finalists, and so then I decided to go to London, and so I took one of my good friends from Georgia, and we went to London, and I said the same thing. I was like, I know I live in Mississippi, but I know God made this earth for me to be able to travel and to be able to go and experience life. And when I went to those places, I felt like I deserved to be there. I had a fun time enjoying the sights, and in London, you see it on TV, you're looking at the
Yes.
cobblestones and, going to see the Queen's, going to see where she lives and standing at the gates taking pictures. So it was just like, it was fun for me, even though I was there for my books. But traveling, just having the essence of I'm going to get on the plane and I'm going to go. Same thing when I went over to Kenya, when I went to Africa, I always wanted to do a missions trip. And so it came apart in 2018, the same year. And I got a chance to, no, 2019, I got a chance to do that in November. And so we loved it. We had 8 days over there. And so traveling, listeners out there, we know that you have busy lives, you have families, plan a trip. Go somewhere after COVID, after everything's plan you a trip, have some fun, and have some laughter, make some memories, So I have thoroughly enjoyed, this conversation with you before we got on the show. And now that we're on the podcast, I've enjoyed, all of your wealth of knowledge and everything. Now I want you to talk about your business, talk about how the listeners can get connected to you. You can tell them about what you offer, your website and all of that. And just let them know, what do you have coming up? They may want to come to Success or Power Summit. So let them know about the events that you have coming up in the recent, coming up in
Okay.
the near future.
So of course, Success is right around the corner. It's going to be October the 5th through the 11th. So it's free. It is free. It's a virtual
Okay.
conference, and you can take part of that. Now, if you want to level up that conference, and be a part of the masterminds with George Fraser, Ty Miles, and Dr. Strimlin, people like that, there's an extra fee that you'll have an opportunity to do. But we are once again expecting over 100 speaker plus, and so I highly recommend tune in. Go to successconference.info is free. Success.conference.info is free. Now, and then the other thing, and I will Power Up and Level Up will be back again in 2021. So go to powerupsummit.com and you can find that there. Now, if you want to connect to me, I also teach and train on creating your own profitable event. It's something that I do. It's easier for me than most people, but I believe in having a big presence. And I'm not just talking about Zoom and some of the other platforms. I'm talking about if you want, and we can do Zoom, but if you want to do bigger, I know how to do bigger. So CoachKearn.com, CoachKearn.com. You can schedule a discovery call with me there. And I have a book project. Now, I just finished Trailblazers Who Lead, amazing women. There were 29 of us in Trailblazers Who Lead, led by Gloria Mayfield Banks. The women, we just had a great time. And really, many of my women have started their own business. They are now doing their own podcasts. They have their own groups and all this stuff. And that's from being a part of my book project. So my new book project, which I mentioned the title before, Make It Happen. If you are somebody who has made something happen in your life, and you know that's most of y'all out there, ain't nothing you do that's worth having, not a challenge. So, but you found a way to go around and make it happen anyway.
That's right. You
want to be a part of this project. I'm all about increasing your visibility. My people on cover magazines. They're in we have book trailers, we have graphics. We were #1 bestseller 3 times, and for my other book project. So we plan to do the same thing. So I'm looking for 30 people to join me in this journey. Coach Kearn, CoachKearn.com/make-it-happen, or just go to Coach Kearn. I'm on any platform. My favorite is LinkedIn, where I have over 23,000 following me there. And I just believe that's a platform everybody should be on. But you can find me on Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Find me there.
Everywhere.
Kearn Cherry, Kearn Crockett Cherry, PR and Home Care. That's me.
All right. Well, you all have heard it here. She's giving you amazing content. She's telling you how to get connected. Success Conference is going to be free. So make sure that you go to her website, get signed up. And if you want to level up, get your VIP and, purchase that and invest in yourself. Because sometimes it takes for you to invest in yourself for you to be able to level up to the next place that you want to be. I am so thankful that you took the time to come on Planting Positive Seeds and encourage my listeners. They're from all over the world, and just helping them to, we brought business. This is my first time bringing business to, the podcast, because so many people out there are planning their conferences. They want to do, these amazing things that you spoke about today. So thank you for sharing your knowledge, with us today. It's been an honor to have you, and I look forward to just staying connected, with you. And I'm going over to your website and sign up for the Success Conference as well, Success Women's Conference. So as 2 fellow Mississippians, it's been an honor to have you. Continue to do great things in the world, and I will be following you as you continue to level up and go higher. Well, thank you so much for being on the broadcast. Thank you, everyone, for listening. You are so welcome. Thank you, everyone, for listening. You all have a blessed night.
This has been another purpose-packed episode of Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast. Please remember to like, share, and tell your friends about the podcast. Stay tuned for many more Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie.